watch the sun go down over the same old town, like so many times before. We look at the same old stars, battle the same old wars, like so many times before. And I know that we're not perfect, but I'm gonna miss all that we had. Yeah, I know that we're not perfect, but I need this night for the last time. Stay, stay. Know you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay if you stay. Stay. Know you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay if you stay. If you stay. Know you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay. We were never meant to last, but all the fun times we had, I'll never forget. We will always share a bond, no matter what, 'cause you have a piece of my heart. And I know that we're not perfect, but I'm gonna miss all that we had. Yeah, I know that we're not perfect, but I need this night for the last time. Stay, stay. Know you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay if you stay. Stay. Know you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay if you stay. Stay. If you stay. If you stay. If you stay. Know you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay. Till the sun goes up, yeah, for a little moment. Just hold me closer, I'll be okay. Till the sun goes up, yeah, for a little moment. Just hold me closer, I'll be okay. We watch the sun go down over the same old town. Stay, stay. Know you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay if you stay. Stay. Know you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay if you stay. If you stay. If you stay. Oh,
Hey, everybody, Scott Davis here with Scott Davis TV, and I'm excited to come to you with another episode. And I'm excited to have a new friend of mine with me, who many of you may have heard of, you may not have heard of, but a movie called Unplanned was her life story, and it came out in theaters several years ago. And but I want to bring on right now. We're not real formal here, anyway. Miss Mrs. Abby Johnson. Hey, Abby, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on. This is gonna be
Oh
fun.
yeah, no problem. Sorry, it has to be early in the morning. I wish we could do. I don't know about you, but I get up at the crack of noon. I'm a night.
Yeah, right. Well, not for me because I've got 8 kids. So I this is my 6 a.m. got up and got the kids off to school look. So, I'm very fancy right now.
Oh, I love it. It's real. It's real. That's it.
This is
Yeah,
very real. This is very
the
real.
realness.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that. So anyway, for people that don't know, you were a former Planned Parenthood clinic, I guess, manager. You ran the whole thing. Is that right?
I did, yeah, I did. Yep. I was there for 8 years and, got involved as a college kid, didn't know much about I didn't know anything about Planned Parenthood, didn't know much about abortion, didn't know much about the pro-life or, pro-choice movement, grew up pro-life-ish,
Right.
grew up in the church, but, uh, we didn't talk about abortion in the church. I mean, God forbid, you didn't talk about anything like that, growing up. Um, didn't talk about anything, revolving around sex or sexuality or, it was like, just don't do that. You just don't do those things. That's what it was said, in the church and in my house. And so that's just sort of how I grew up. And so went to college, sort of opened up this whole new world and this world of immorality. And got involved with Planned Parenthood, and everything they were saying just sort of made sense to my unformed conscience, and or ill-formed, I guess. And anyway, got involved, was there for 8 years, and I wasn't a medical person. I'm not a nurse or doctor or anything like that, and was one day called back to the actual abortion room and witnessed a live ultrasound guided abortion and saw this 13-week-old baby fighting and struggling for his life, trying to survive. And yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen. I had been told that these babies in the womb didn't feel anything, that they were just tissue, it was just nothing. And um I knew then that I had been lied to. I knew that because of I had believed that lie, I had then in turn lied to thousands of other women, and I knew that I had to get out. I knew I was on the wrong side of this debate. So I ended up leaving and have ever since then. Well, when I left, Planned Parenthood sued me and they tried to get a gag order against me. They didn't want me to be able to tell my story or um, talk about what I had seen inside the abortion industry, the things that I knew. That obviously failed. And so ever since then, I've just been sharing my story, talking about the things that I've seen, things that I know, and really trying to expose abortion, but also trying to really bring healing to those who have experienced abortion, who have worked in abortion clinics, anybody who's been touched by abortion. And yeah, and so that's what I've been doing for the past 12 years.
It's amazing because a couple of things that stood out to me when you said that is how, number one, they approach you when you're young, when you're still forming,
Yeah.
your stuff and get you sucked into stuff. And there's a lot of young people that are very swayed and influenced, not just teenagers. I'm talking about young college age, and that's probably the
Yeah.
age you were when people approach you about this kind of stuff. And then secondly, to try to silence you, anything that it's funny how when they don't want you to hear stuff, they're hiding it for a reason, and it's never a
Right.
good reason usually that I've found. So, but I'm glad that
Yeah.
you're now telling the truth about it all because people say Planned Parenthood that's a healthcare organization.
Right.
What do you
Right.
say to that? It's all for your health. What do you say to that?
Right. Yeah. So, that that was the talking point, I guess. When I was there, gosh, when I first started working there 20 years ago, which is crazy. That's a crazy number. 20 years ago, that was the talking point. Gosh, we're there to prevent abortion, and that's what they said. And um but now they don't even make that claim anymore. Planned Parenthood themselves does not make that claim. um there are pro-choice people they're desperately clinging on to that talking point, but they need to get with it, because Planned Parenthood's not even making that claim anymore. If Planned Parenthood says that, if you try to say that, we're trying to reduce the number of abortions, or Planned Parenthood is only 3% of their services are abortion, which isn't even true. But every time you say that, every time somebody says that, you are only promoting abortion stigma. Okay. And they're saying, look, we want to do everything we can to make abortion normal.
Yeah.
So stop saying stuff like that. Stop saying that we want to make abortion safe, legal, and rare, because if something is good, you don't want to make it rare,
Right.
right?
Right.
You want to make it plentiful.
Right.
And so even Planned Parenthood now is saying, hey guys, hey pro-choicers, stop saying stuff like that. Stop saying that you want to make abortion rare. Stop saying that we're trying to prevent abortion. We want a lot of abortion. And in fact, in the past 10 years, if you look at Planned Parenthood's own annual report, you will see that over the past 10 years, all of these other services that, Planned Parenthood has always said they provide, like, annual exams and pap smears and all these, blessed cancer screenings that they've always said to provide, contraception visits, STD testing, all of that has plummeted in the past 10 years by over 70%. So the only services that have increased over Planned Parenthood has been abortion, because that's what they want to push. They
Yeah.
want to push abortion. Why? Well, because that is their money-making service.
All
It is
all
their
boils down to making
highest
money. That's right.
It's their highest revenue generating service. So that's really what it's about. And of course, Scott, there is a spiritual component to it as well,
Hmm.
right? Abortion's not just wrong. Abortion's not just bad.
Yeah.
Abortion is evil,
Yeah.
right? Abortion is demonic.
Yeah.
And so there is a demonic spirit surrounding abortion. And so it's not just about the money. It is about this desire
Yeah.
to sacrifice our children. And so there is that drive behind it as well, to sacrifice our innocent children.
Yeah, I believe that. You're right. It is a spiritual warfare, and it's going to continue to be a battle. At least we know who wins in the end, but it's still
That's
a
right.
battle now, and that we can
That's right.
fight and win or lose those little battles. And they're I shouldn't say little, they're major battles. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this: I have friends of mine that are Christian people, and but they're pro-choice is what they call it, and they always throw out these things. It's amazing, especially when during the Trump era, where he whether you like him as a person or not, he did a lot of pro-life stuff, which was more than any president I've ever seen that actually
Mhm.
did what he said he was going to do, and it brought some people out of the woodwork that that I've known for years, and other people that I've known that I thought were pro-life that weren't. And but they throw this question out and said, "Oh, you're just pro-birth. You're pro-birth. You're not pro-child. You don't care after they're born." I'm sure you've heard that. How do you answer people like that?
Well, I tell people, I mean, for sure, I am pro-birth. I do want people to be born. So that, like, you can call me pro-birth.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
exactly.
I am pro-birth. But it is only the pro-life movement that is caring for moms and babies after they are born.
Right.
So you can walk into any Planned Parenthood across this country and say, "Hey, I need some diapers. Can you help me out?"
Yeah.
They're going to be like, "What? We don't do that. We only kill babies, okay?
Yeah.
We don't help provide for them. We don't have any onesies in here. We don't got any diapers or
Right.
wipes or formula. They don't do anything like that, okay? Planned Parenthood isn't in the business of helping women after they have their babies, okay? It is only the pro-life movement that is helping women and families and babies after a baby is born. So it's truly amazing that people are still using that sort of justification. And even if we weren't, Scott, even if we weren't, okay? Even if our movement was just about getting a baby here to birth,
Right.
that's still better than what Planned Parenthood is doing.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
even if we did nothing else, okay? Even if we were like, "Look, we're just gonna help you while you're pregnant. We're just gonna help you get health care. We're just gonna help you stock your pantry while you're pregnant. We're just gonna help you get maternity clothes.
Right.
We're just gonna help you get insurance. We're just gonna help you do those things while you are pregnant, and then you're on your own." That's still better than murdering your child. There's still no justification for killing your child while you're pregnant. I mean, like, there, even if we did nothing else, abortion is still wrong.
Right.
And so it's such a weird thought process, but it is a distraction. It is a deflection that pro-choicers use. Like, well, you're not really pro-life because you're not helping the climate crisis.
Right.
Well, you're not really pro-life because you're not helping all the migrant farmers find housing. Well, you're not really pro-life because you're not, I mean, come on. Like, we are trying to stop babies from being killed. That is the laser focus of the pro-life movement. And yes, we do have pregnancy centers. Yes, we do have maternity homes. That's in addition to what we do. But our primary focus in the pro-life movement is to help stop a woman from walking into a facility and killing her baby. Everything else we do outside of that is just icing on the cake.
Right.
That's just in addition to making sure that a baby survives an abortion.
Right. Right. And it's good. People need to go. Most towns and cities have pregnancy care centers and
Yes.
pro-life centers. People need to go and look. I've toured many
Yes.
of them, as you have, and they do. We're there to save a life, but after that child is brought into the world, you see racks of clothes and diapers, and
Yes.
they're
We
there to help the mother.
Pregnancy centers outnumber abortion clinics 4-1 in
Mm,
the United States. And these pregnancy centers are stocked. They are stocked. Bottles, wipes, cribs, car seats, stroller, anything a mom could need for her baby, they've got it. There is no reason that a mom ever needs to walk inside of an abortion clinic, ever. The support is there, and not just stuff, right? It's not just the stuff that they have. They have caring women.
yep.
They have caring, mamas and grandmamas and people who want to
Hmm.
love these women with the love of Christ. That's what they have inside of those pregnancy centers. And these women would be better for it if they would walk inside of one of those centers and be loved and cared for by the women who are ready to
Yeah.
wrap their arms around these
Yeah.
these young women.
Yeah, there's people that truly do care for others. That's for sure. And they putting it into action. They're not just saying I love you, but that they're that's an action word. They're putting it into action for sure.
Absolutely.
Now, you spoke at the Republican National Convention. That had to be different for you. That had to be exciting. I don't know. It had to be nerve wracking. If I were you, I'd be like nervous. And what was that like?
It was awesome. Like, man, it was cool. I actually got the phone call in Walmart. I was like, I was in Walmart and I was buying my kids school supplies and, just random walking around the
Yeah.
pencil aisle, and got a phone call from the White House and some guy, and he just said, hey, this so and so, and we'd like to know if you would like to speak at the Republican National Convention. And I was just so, taken aback, and I was like, yeah. I mean, okay. And I was
Yeah,
so
who
like
turns that
disrespect.
down?
I mean, yeah. And so I said, well, when is it? I mean, I was like, I don't even know when this is,
Right, right.
And I said, when is it? And so it was 2 weeks away.
Wow.
And I said, "Well, when would I need to be there?" And I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, do I have anything going on?" I mean, because I'm a
Sure.
public speaker, so I'm like, "Do I have any events?" I'm like, "If I do, they're canceled." But I'm like, "Do I have anything going on?" And so he gave me the dates. We'll need you here. This August something. I was like, "Okay," and I was like, he's like, "Can you do it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yep." I don't. Oh yeah, I'll do it.
Of course.
And I asked him though on the phone, um, well, he said, "Do you have any questions?" And I said, "Yes." There was only one question. I mean, I had like a gazillion questions, right? But I could only think of like one thing. I asked him how long I had, and he said, "You have 5 minutes." And I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Right.
And and I thought, "Oh my gosh, what do I say like in 5 minutes?" I immediately felt all of this like pressure, right? Like,
Right.
what do I say in 5 minutes? Because I thought I felt this enormous pressure to make sure that I'm able to somehow give justice
Mm.
to these 60 plus million babies that
Right.
have been killed by abortion, right? Like, I'm going to have the attention of millions and millions. I mean, I think there were like 72 million people that watched that night. So I'm like, I I have to somehow give all of these babies some kind of justice. And so I'm like, how do I do that? In 5 minutes. And so the only question that like came to mind was, can I be graphic? And this guy said, yeah, that's why he wants you. And I said, okay. And so I hung up the phone, and I was like slapping my husband the whole time, and he's like, what? And so I got off the phone, and I'm like, I'm speaking at the Republican National Convention. And he was like, what? And
What?
I mean,
Yeah.
it was so weird. Like, we're just in the middle of Walmart and we're like jumping up and down, and my
Right.
kids are like, what is wrong with you? And so I called my parents immediately, and they're like freaking out and screaming. And it was crazy. I mean, like, having that sort of platform. And they did have a girl call me. Her name was Kelsey Gorman. She was amazing. She called me, and she was a speechwriter for the White House. And she called me and said, "Do you want me to write your speech?" And I said, "No." I was like, "I want to write my speech." And she was
Right.
like, "Good." She was like, "I think you should." And so I wrote a speech and sent it to her. Everything had to be approved,
Right. That's what I figured. Yeah.
sent it to her, and they told me like it had to be under 1,200 words. And I'm
Mm.
like, oh, that's not very many words. So I sent it to her, and then they sent it back, and they said, okay, they actually think 1,200 words is too long. Cut it down to 800 words.
Oh my.
And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. So then you start like putting words together, right? Like,
Right.
like now we're like putting words together. We're like, you're trying to like chop sentences together, and so you start making that work. And then the day before, they sent it back, and I'd already gotten it approved and everything, and they sent it back and they said, we actually need it to be 600 words.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I don't know what else I can cut.
Yeah.
And but we did, and they put it on a teleprompter, which is very like I never speak from notes or anything like
Right.
that. So that was
Right.
very unusual for me. That was very, different. And but I did it, and it was funny. Like after it came after it came out, there was a Washington Post article that was written, and the headline says RNC speaker tries to make abortion sound gross. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, it's just abortion is gross.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I wasn't trying to make abortion sound gross. It just
No, no.
is gross.
It's reality.
And
Exactly.
yeah, it's just the reality. And so anyway, it was one of the most watched speeches during the RNC, and definitely one of the most reported
Well,
about.
Don and I both watched it from our home on the couch, and I was like, "Oh yeah," and because you knocked it out of the park. I mean, I would be freaking out to say something in 600 words. I mean, good night. I can barely say my name in that many words. But that was amazing. And you for not using a teleprompter, you it looked like you were a pro at it. That is for sure, because it came across very, very well. So I
Oh,
was
thank you.
thankful for that. Now I know you travel a lot. I travel a lot. I've been doing it for years. You've been doing it for years. There's got to be some funny stories along the way that you've experienced. Do you have anything that stands out that the audience might like to hear that you otherwise wouldn't know about?
Oh my gosh. I have had just so many like crazy, crazy stories on the road. I think, I've traveled during all of my pregnancies. I have I have traveled. Um I think I have like very, very severe morning sickness. It's called hyperemesis gravidarum during all of my pregnancies, and so I have thrown up, I think, in every public trash can in every airport across the country. Um which that makes me a very fun traveling
Yeah,
companion.
I'm sure.
Like I carry barf bags with me. In fact, the people that travel with me started carrying barf bags. My friend got she got
We buy them in
personalized
bulk
barf.
off of Amazon. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she did. She got like personalized barf bags for me at one point in time because I was just like so sick. Um yeah, I mean, I had one had one story when I was pregnant. Um I was on a plane, and just I got really I got really sick on a plane, and threw up, and I landed, and I I really made a mess. I made a mess all over myself. And I landed in the Charlotte airport, and I'm like, I had a cardigan on, so I was like trying to like cover it up. These airplanes are so tiny.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm trying to like cover myself up so that people don't see I have like barf all over me.
right.
And of course I've probably grossed everybody out, like, on the row with me, and it's like it's just embarrassing, and I'm like, and so I'm trying to like cover myself up, and I go to the Charlotte bathroom. Now, before COVID, Charlotte, remember how they had like bathroom attendants?
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's the worst.
Yeah,
Okay. Like, I mean, why do they have bathroom attendant? Like, this is not like 1945. Okay.
that's
Like, I
right.
don't need a bathroom attendant in there with me. And so I go to the bathroom, and I just need like a minute to like wash my shirt off that has like barf on it. I need like to wash my face, and I've got this nosy bathroom attendant like up my nose. She's and I'm like, And so I'm in the stall and I'm big pregnant and I'm in this tiny stall and I'm trying to open my suitcase. And this bathroom attendant is like, knock, knock, knock on the door because I'm making so much noise. And she's like, can I help you? Can I help you in there? I'm like, no, like go away. And so then I get out and I have my shirt and I'm gonna wash it off in the sink. And she's like, let me wash that for
Oh
you.
my
I'm like,
goodness.
lady, I do not want you touching my barf. Like, go away. And she's like, can I get you like some mouthwash? I'm like, I'm about to drop kick this like bathroom attendant. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh my God. I just it's like just those times where like you're on the road and you're like, I just want some privacy.
that's right. That's
And
right.
you have like zero privacy. And when you're on the road and you're sick, that's just like
That's the
one
worst.
of the worst.
Yeah,
It's just one of the
I've
worst.
actually landed in the bathroom. I stayed in the bathroom the whole time. They kept knocking on the door. You got to come out. I said, I'm sorry, I'm not coming out. And landed the plane. I stayed in the bathroom the whole time because I was that sick. And sometimes you do. You want to get on the plane, and most of the time somebody's traveling with me. But there's been occasions when they haven't, and I try to get my headphones on before anybody sits down by me. Because sometimes you
Yes.
just want that private time. But I usually don't make it, and usually a long talker, that sits next to me.
Yes.
And so,
I
which is fine.
recently
I enjoy
sat
talking to
down by a
people, but it's
guy.
that first part, it's like, oh, okay.
I know. I recently sat down by a guy that increasingly got drunk
Oh
on the
my.
plane. I mean, just like slurring the speech and just like at one point in time he had like a drool thing coming down his mouth. And I was like, oh my gosh, please. I was just like, please pass out. Please
Yeah,
pass out so we can stop this conversation.
that's
And
right.
to make it worse, he was liberal.
Oh,
So he was going on and on like about his political beliefs. And I was like, I don't want to get in an argument with a drunk guy sitting
right,
next to me.
right,
So I
right.
was just like, uh-huh, uh-huh, yeah, whatever you say, like just please go to sleep. So
That's like I was
it's
going to
just
California once, and actually coming back from California, and it was just a quick trip out there for a New Year's Eve, and then get on the plane. And I got upgraded first class, which was nice.
it's
I tried to
awesome.
get my headphones on, and boy, I didn't quite make it in time. And the guy said, "Hey, how you doing?" And I knew he was going. 4 hours we talked, and nice guy, and all I did was mention that he was talking about college and where'd you go to school? And I said, I went to Liberty University. And he said, is that Jerry Falwell School? And I said, yep. Didn't say anything else. He said, well, I'm gay. And I said,
Oh,
well, I'm
well,
not. That's what I said. But then we talked, and he happened to grow up in church and this type of thing. And he was a good person and he knew the right things, but he was,
yeah,
got hurt somehow and went way to the left. So we had a great conversation, but man, 4 hours long talking. But I mean, that's how it started out. I went to Liberty University. Well, I'm gay. Well, I'm not. I was like, okay. And, but anyway, it was a neat time. But I just want to say thank you. I look at you as a new friend. We've done a couple of events together at the same place at the Pregnancy Care Center here in Jonesboro, Georgia. I live in Georgia, but travel all over the country as you do. And I've enjoyed sharing the stage with you because you're fun, you're real, you're just real life. And the Abby Johnson you see is the Abby Johnson you get, which I love that.
that's it.
And I appreciate your heart for people and standing up for the truth. That's very, very important. And because people always say, share your truth. What's your truth? Give me your truth. No, there's one truth, and
That's
it
it.
comes from the Bible and it comes from God. And people miss that a lot. So I appreciate you sticking with that. And I appreciate you taking these few minutes and just sharing, some of your life with my audience. So thank you so much.
Of course. Of course. Yeah, I'm glad to be here and thanks for all you're doing. And yeah, we're gonna win this thing, all of us together.
Yes, we will. Thank you, Abby. Have a great
Of
day.
course. Thank you.
watch the sun go down over the same old town, like so many